Hey everybody, Joe here. We're at the Lowe's Garden Center. It's Friday evening and they should have a whole new shipment ready for the weekend. So let's jump inside and see what they've got. Right as you walk into Lowe's, they have an assortment of roses. These are $29, already blooming. So nice selection. They also have some of this dianthus. This is a perennial. Takes full sun. $13. And this is an annual, and it's $8. Mega Copa White. Here is some Lantana. I like this one because it has the different colors. The Lantana, of course, is an annual, and it's $12. Have a nice selection of geraniums. The geraniums are $11, and these are also an annual, of course. They like full sun. And some really nice calla lilies. Look at the blooms on those. Wow. These calla lilies are $13. Again, they're an annual. They like part sun. I have some of these in a shady area and they do quite well. Very nice calla lilies. Up above, they have a burst of color combo. Looks like it has 3 different varieties. These, of course, would be annuals. And the pot is $30. Of course, they have lots of daisies. These are annuals, $12. They do like 6+ hours of direct sunlight, so lots of sun. But look at the colors on those. Kind of a pinkish purple, yellow, white and purple. So a large selection. Here is a pot of lavender. These are $26. Really nice. This comes back every year. It's a perennial. And I will say, depending on where you live, sometimes an annual can turn out to be a perennial. Here in Tucson, we have pretty mild temperatures during the winter, so a lot of things that are intended to be an annual come back. I will say after a year or two, they start to look a little tired, so we'll eventually have to replace them. I love these Gerber Daisies. I don't know why I am so infatuated with these. These are an annual, although here in Tucson, mine do come back. These are $8. This says 6+ hours of direct sun. Not here in Tucson. These are not fans of the Tucson sun, but morning sun, they do really well here in Tucson. Gosh, I just love those Gerber Daisies. Looks like we've got some bushes. Again, I'm still in the front of the store. Texas sage for $28. Cold hardy to 10 to 20 degrees. Not hardy in zones 1 to 7, so take that into consideration. Bougainvillea, always a big winner, $28. This just flowers pretty much all the time. I have some in my yard and it's pretty much flowered the entire year. These are cold hardy to 30 to 40 degrees, non-hardy in zones 1 through 9. I'm in zone 9A. I do have a video where I chop mine pretty much back down to the ground and they come back and look great. This is the Bougainvillea Pixie. It's a little bit more compact, and this is $28. This is Oleander. These are $28, and these are toxic, so be careful with your little kiddos and your pets for sure. Looks like they have some snapdragons. These would be an annual, $3 a pack. Petunias also an annual, $3 a pack. These are individual packets, but they're a nice healthy plant. Have pink and purple. Marigolds, of course, are an annual. These are $3 a pack. They like lots of sun. Now they do have a deal here at Lowe, 5 for $10. And this is viola, which isn't going to last much longer into the late spring or summer for sure. So that's why they're 5 for $10. But a lot of different varieties and colors. I really like these. Now this comes back for me every year. It says it's a mounding annual, $3, dianthus. But mine come back every year. These pansies, $3 a piece. Again, the pansies aren't going to be around much longer. Once the heat hits, they're going to be a goner. And then some additional petunias here. They have some really nice succulents. These are $10. Oh. There's a kitty. I guess it's the Lowe's mascot, maybe. Don't cross the path of a black cat. They have some golden barrels. These are $10. And then this cactus here is also $10 or $11, excuse me. Really like this agave. This is $40. Really like the color, very sharp edges, so be careful with that. Different version of agave. Again, the color is just beautiful on these, $40. Now these here are very hardy, drought tolerant, and they get really large, and you can see there they get those large spikes with flowers. These do like full sun. And there's the information ticket. Cold hardy to 10 to 20 degrees below zero, so these are tough plants here. Looks like these are false sorrows, $25. You can tell these are healthy by the pink tops. So get ready to grow. Have some larger false sorrows for $60. Some nice pencil cactus for $60. My all-time favorite, elephant bush. These are $31. Some more agaves for $40. Some more elephant bush, a little bit of a different variety for $30. So this is just the front of the store. I can't wait to see what's inside. I love seeing these racks. These mean that these just came in yesterday or today. Some very nice hanging baskets of petunias for $17. These are really full and bushy. So very, very nice. They have these cool baskets that you can hang on a wall. It's filled with succulents. Looks like these are $37. So that would be nice on a wall in an entryway or on your patio. They have some cactus gardens. These are $30. You could just drop these into an existing pot, or you could take these out and separate them. Again, for $30, it looks like each one of these has 5 cactus in there. And then these are an all-time favorite. Huh. Has it on the tag, do not eat. Never thought about eating them, but they are pretty. These are $30. Just getting ready to explode with blooms. A little bit smaller version here for 11. Some succulents. These are 10. Like that deep purple, also $10. Now I love these sun stars. These take full sun. They're $9. Very, very nice. And these would come back every year. So beautiful. They have pots of this ground cover, $25, part sung. There's the information tag. Just beautiful. Now I picked up some of these last week. I think this is a lion's tail. It's an upright perennial for $23. I just really like the flowers on these. They look feltish. And look at those petunias with the spots on them. Those are awesome. These are individual pots. Actually, it's a big pot for $20. You could just drop that right down into an existing pot. So making your life easy at Lowe's. I always hate seeing this. These are plants that didn't even make it to the discounted rack. They do look a little rough. They do have all kinds of things for the garden. Sweet basil, spearmint. I won't spend a lot of time on those, but these look like they're $13 a piece. Some Greek oregano, some parsley. They have hanging baskets of strawberries with strawberries. Now, for $20, I don't know how many strawberries you would get off this. So it's probably more of a conversation piece than putting a lot of strawberries on your table, but if this is for you, $20 at Lowe's. Some nice healthy tomato plants of different varieties. These are $10. And they have some hot pepper plants for $10. So lots of different choices for the garden. Some lettuce, arugula, some broccoli. And just look across this Lowe's store, aisles and aisles. Let's go check it out. So we have some nice large lantana for $17. Some little johns for $10. Some bougainvillea. These are also $10. Some more lantana for $17. Love the flowers on this lantana. Look at the red on that. Just beautiful. So lots and lots of lantana. If you're needing lantana for the yard, Lowe's is the place to go. These cactus here get just incredible flowers. These are $60. You can see they have lots of babies. Some more roses. These have that deep purple. This is Rosa Love for $25. Some nice large agaves. These are $31. Some yellow ladybanks for $35. Huge selection of roses. This is $28. This is a mounding annual for $28. Now again, when these are called out as annuals, depending on where you live, they could be a perennial. You're pretty much guaranteed a perennial is going to come back every year, depending on your zone. Annuals, not so much, but sometimes they do come back. They'll surprise you. There's a ponytail palm. Look at the base of that. That is really fat. For $27. Some big pots of the elephant bush for $23. Crown of thorns for $13. Look at the flowers on this. Oh my goodness. Takes full to part sun, $10. And depending on where you live, these would be more of an annual. I like how these feel so felty. It's a felt plant for $11. Some agave, small pencil cactus. Really condensed jade here for $10. Lots of succulents. This is that fish hook. Boy, if you get these inside of you, they're hard to get rid of. These can tolerate temperatures down to 25 and are $10. These don't look super healthy, so you just want to be picky. They're $10. Lots and lots of succulents. I really like this here. This is a donkey tail for $19. Look at the red and the orange. Just beautiful. And pink. Just looks like little tiny roses. These are $7. Lots of succulents. Different form of agave for $10. More of the elephant bush, more cactus. Some nice succulent little garden pots. These are $35. Some succulent pots for $27. For those of you that are here in Tucson, this is the Lowe's off of Oracle. Now these pots of cactus for $30 have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 individual cactus. And again, you could just drop this into a decorative pot, or you could separate these. I like how they've mixed this with a couple different things. I see some petunias in there for sure. These are $15. Lots of pot choices. Look at that. It's in a very nice pot. I like how this is aged. But it's also $150. So I think you could do better if you bought a pot separately and bought, your cactus and your succulents to put in there. I do like the pot though. If they had some just individual pots like this, I would buy a couple of those. I'm gonna have to see if they do. I'm gonna guess they don't. And this is a pot of daisies. Again, this is an annual, $15. Some potted petunias. For $20. Like how pretty this is. This is also $20. These are really beautiful. Now, I don't think these are going to get many more blooms for $20. Again, some potted up options for succulents. Let's see if I can get a price. These are $40. Prices are a little hefty on these potted up versions, so you might want to pot up your own, but I do like that it gives you a lot of different options. This is $37. Look at how pretty these are. You almost need sunglasses looking at these. These are $33. These are pretty, little yellow flowers. These are drought tolerant, and they're hardy to 20 degrees. Very nice. I bought one of these the other day. This Ascot Rainbow Spurge. It's a mounting perennial for $23. I haven't planted mine yet, but it's going to go in a pot. And just more daisies. These daisies are $12 a piece. We already saw this. These are $8. Lots of geranium options. Just ready to explode with flowers. More daisies. Again, these are $12. Now, I really like this yellow color. It says Rock Rose Little Miss Sunshine for $23. Part sun, hardy to 25 degrees. Just really like that color. Some more of these. Where you looked at those. These are very colorful for $23. Sweet pea shrub. These are hardy to 20 degrees. I like how a lot of these tags say not for consumption. I guess it clears up any doubt. If you think you can eat your flowers. Dianthus for $10. Just reminds me of carnations. Another form of daisy, Cape Daisy. These are hardy to 10 to 20 degrees for $10. This is the Cape Daisy for $10. I like the structure of the flowers. Look at these. Isn't that beautiful? Now these are hardy to 10 to 20 degrees and $10. These flowers are awesome. We already saw these. These are 13. The lavender's looking good. We talked about that. Now here's a vine. Periwinkle. It's $11. Cold hardy to 20 to 30 degrees. You could put this in the ground, or I bet you could put this in a hanging pot. Lots of lavender choices. Still always like these flowers. I don't know. Well, that's lavender. This is lavender. For $10. These are just beautiful. Lots and lots of daisy choices. Again, some potted up petunias for $15. Saves you the time of having to get dirt and a pot and just bring that home and put it right on your front porch and be done. Same thing with these geraniums for $27. And then speak of geraniums, there's a whole row here of the individual geraniums. These are $9. Look at that color. Yikes, that is just incredible. These are $10. For the larger version, they have a smaller version for $9. These are 10. These are 10. Some more Lantana. I need to pick up one more Lantana before I leave tonight for a pot that I decorated earlier today in a video. More petunias. I typically like buying the little 6-pack of petunias versus these that are already tall and kind of lanky, but depending on the pot that you're going to put them in and how big of a splash you want immediately, those might be for you. On these daisies, I tend to go for the ones that haven't opened yet. So this compared to this, I think is a better deal. Same price, of course, but because they haven't opened yet, you're going to get a lot of splash of color. Looks like they have some spider plants. These are really healthy. These are 25. Part sun. It says it's a trailing annual. That would be dependent on where you live, because here in Tucson, mine do well all year long. It says that they're non-hardy below 32. We have a couple of nights that drop down into the high 20s, and I just put a moving blanket over my spider plants, and that seems to keep them warm enough to not die back. Some more geraniums. I do like the colors on these. These are big flats. And I don't see any pricing or labeling on those. Diantha for $3. Some petunias. They do have some impatiens. They don't look the best, so I do want some impatiens, but I think I'm going to wait a couple of weeks because these are not looking real happy. Now I do Really like the color on these. These are $6 a piece. Here's the tag. I don't know how I feel about when you have to kind of look up for more information. I do like it when the tag has all the information you need versus having to go to the internet, but whatever works for the grower, I guess. Now these are the packs of petunias that I was talking about. You can get a nice pack of petunias. This is a 6-pack. These are $13. Of course, the one I picked up doesn't look so hot, but these back here look great. So lots of 6-pack petunia options. They do have these listed as 5 for $10, so not a bad deal. Lots of hanging baskets of petunias. And then they have some additional pots of geraniums. These are 24. Getting into the hibiscus back here. These are 30. Now these hibiscus are not super hardy. They're cold hardy to 30 to 40 degrees. So if you live in a colder climate, you would want to pull these into your garage or your basement maybe. A larger version of the hibiscus for 30. I do really like the blooms on these hibiscus though. Isn't that just beautiful? All the dirt you can imagine. Some nice glazed pottery. These are frost resistant. I don't see any quit pricing on these, so check your local Lowe's for pricing. Here's the African lily. These are $33. Cold hardy to 15 to 20 degrees. And they're getting ready to bloom. I really like the color on this bush. I have a couple in my yard planted in the ground, and then I have a couple in pots. I just really like the color on these. Some more bougainvillea. So this Lowe's location is definitely stocked up. Lots of plants for your landscaping. This is a foundation hedge for 28. And you can see this is hardy to 30, 40 degrees, non-hardy in zones 1 through 9. So you'd be better off putting this in a pot maybe. They do have some nice ground cover options. This is an ornamental grass for $8, and it's hardy to 10 to 20 below zero, so that will come back every year. This is a mondo grass, and it's hardy to 10 to 20 degrees below for 11. This is French lavender for 11. Some more cool pots. They do have a wide variety of pot options. I did a video a week or so ago all about pots. There's so many choices these days with terracotta, plastic, composite, glazed, even steel and metal options. So if you're interested in what kind of pot is best for you, take a look at that video that I posted a few weeks ago. Of course, Lowe's has a wide variety of fruit trees. These look to be $60. There's lime and lemon and orange, so if you live in an area where you can have fruit trees, Lowe's is the place to go. They also do have a lot of shrub options. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those, so check your local Lowe's for what shrubs they have and bushes they have for your landscaping. Now this Lowe's, I would say, has a nice selection, but the Lowe's video that I did last weekend was just incredible. For those of you in Tucson, that was the Lowe's on Valencia. I was just completely wowed. Now, I am wowed by this location as well, but that location last week really won me over. I will absolutely go back to that location. It's a little bit of a drive for me, but it was just incredible. And I'll say again, this Lowe's location is very stocked up for the weekend. It's going to be a very busy weekend. You know how when temperatures first get warm, everyone comes out and starts doing their gardening. So there's definitely a lot of choices. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I'd invite you to subscribe to my channel. It certainly helps me out. And I love any comments you have. So if you have any suggestions, comments, please post them and I respond to every single one of them. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to get this uploaded this evening. First thing in the morning, I'll be at a different Home Depot location that I typically don't go to. I'll be there first thing because they should be really stocked up for this weekend. And we'll take a look and I'll share what they have and get that posted probably late morning, early afternoon. So stay tuned and thanks again for joining everybody. Bye.